We have another news that is coming in as a breaking right now. Iran says it is unlikely to resume negotiations with the United States following recent hostilities, citing what a bitter experience with past talks. Well, speaking to PBS NewsHour from Tehran, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that despite progress during previous rounds of negotiations, US actions determined the diplomatic process, making further dialogue with Washington unlikely to return to Iran's agenda. Well, listen into what he had to say.
The question of talking with Americans or negotiation with Americans once again would be on the table, because we have a very bitter experience of talking with Americans.
But Araghchi also blamed the US and Israel for rising instability across West Asia, saying attacks against Iran had disrupted oil production and transportation in the region.
After 3 rounds of negotiation, and after the American team in the negotiation, said itself that we made a big progress, still they decided to attack us. So I don't think, talking with Americans anymore would be, on our agenda anymore.
Well, this is the latest news that we are getting in as of now. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Iran is unlikely to resume negotiations with the United States following recent hostilities, citing what he described as a bitter experience with past talks.
Well, actually, this is a war imposed on us, and what we are doing is only defending ourselves. We are facing an act of aggression, which is absolutely illegal, and what we are doing is the act of self-defense, which is legal and legitimate.
And for more on this, my colleague Jyotsna Kumar is bringing more details. Well, Jyotsna, can you tell us what is the latest that we are getting about this right now?
Well, of course, this is a pretty obvious reaction there, as you can see. We have heard Iran Foreign Minister, as you mentioned, Araghchi, saying that the talks with the United States may be off the table, and it's pretty much true because, as he mentioned, there has been a bitter experience. Now, he did say that he didn't think talking with Americans would be on the agenda anymore. Now, just to give context, earlier Kamal Karazi, who was the foreign policy advisor to the office of Iran's supreme leader, he had said that he believes there is no room for diplomacy anymore in the ongoing conflict with the United States and its allies. Now, Karazi who is one of the country's most senior foreign policy officials, had also attributed this to the stance to repeated experiences in the past negotiations with the U.S. And let's take a look at what happened in the last negotiations between the sides. It took place on 26th of January. Now, at the time, Oman's foreign minister, who was mediating the indirect talks, had claimed significant progress. He had also said that the two sides had planned to resume negotiations soon after consultations in their capitals, and they had announced technical level discussions that will be taking place right after in the next week in January in Vienna. And now, Araghchi, who led the country's delegation, had also hailed good progress. And what happened? Well, just 2 days later, U.S. and Israeli strikes hit Iran, killing several members of its leadership, and that includes Supreme Leader Khamenei. And this is, of course, not the first time. Even last year, in June, when there were talks happening, it was a 12-day war. When did it happen? Right after negotiations were in progress, Israel had attacked, and then U.S. had joined in June last year. Now, since the start, there has been little on the diplomacy front, and what we see right now is a pretty obvious reaction from Iran at this point. Now, what would happen, what the Gulf states will be doing, of course, we'll have to observe, because Gulf states are the ones who have not really been retaliating. They are the ones who are defending as of now, and we've had Bahrain's leader also say that he's not happy with it. He feels betrayed, but on the other hand, of course, he also said that he's on the part of peace. So we haven't really been seeing any kind of retaliatory remarks from the Gulf states. So as of now, although the Gulf states, it looks like they could, even if diplomacy takes part. Perhaps we can see some kind of, taking part of the Gulf states, but as of now, Iran doesn't look like at all. And especially after the new leader who has been elected, Ali Khamenei's son, Moshtaba Khamenei, if he's elected as a supreme leader, we'll have to wait and see how he leads the country in the ongoing conflict. Trump has said it'll take a few days, but of course, we'll have to wait and see how Iran reacts to this. So far, they have sustained, but how many days can they go on for? Well, we don't know about that. But when on the diplomacy front, Iran does not look like they want to be on the table out there.
Correct, and it's a rapidly evolving situation, and one that carries immense consequences. And I'll just quote Araghchi here again. He says that I don't think that question of talking with Americans or negotiation with the Americans once again would be on the table. And as the war stretches into the second week, with no signs of a ceasefire, the international community remains on high alert. But thank you so much, Josna, for getting us all the updates, and we'll be watching more for the same. Thank you.